Okay, I think this is part 3 of our tutorial series on Microsoft Excel, and what we're going to be talking about here is formatting your cells. All right, so there are two main categories of cell formatting as far as I'm concerned. There's one for kind of the look and feel of your spreadsheet, and then there's formatting the actual information so it makes a little more sense to you. So for this exercise, we're actually going to be using our Excel samples for class sheet that's provided to you in the files section of Canvas for this class. And so when you open it, you should hopefully see something like this in front of you. And what this is basically a bunch of cells with no formatting on them as far as I can see whatsoever, right? So like I said, the first thing we're going to look at is formatting for appearance, right? And this is not nearly as important as the other stuff, but it's good to know. And it does make a difference when you're sorting through a big document that you need to make sense of. So let's take a look at this first cell here. That's sort of the title. So we can just go up here under the Home tab, and just like any other program, we can set some typographic characteristics pretty easily if we want. With these sort of column headers, we can select all of those, and if we want, we can also make those bold. We can assign a fill up here and a text color, but all of this can also be achieved by doing a Command 1 on a Mac, and that would be under here, under Format, you would go to Format Cells, okay? So if you're not on a Mac and you don't have Command 1, I don't know what that's going to be, but under Format Cells, you should be able to get to that window. And under here, you have tabs for number, alignment, font, border, fill, and protection. So right now, let's just deal with border and fill, right? So here are the options for strokes that you can apply to your collection of cells. If you want to align them to the outside and the inside, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to fill them, you can fill them with a background color. Sometimes these channels of different variations of a color make it easy to call attention to highlights or something like that. So if we hit OK, we should see those changes having taken place, right? So that might just make it a little easier to navigate. But what about the numbers themselves? Let's take a look at these. So these are obviously some really old numbers from Southwest Florida International Airport. And the first column is the number of passengers, okay? So passengers are whole people. We can't have decimal passengers. So how would we want to format this number? So what we could do is we could just select all the cells in that column and again do our Command 1. And this time we're going to go over to number and we can just format it as a number, right? So here's a sample of what that's going to look like right here. And since they're people and not something that we're going to divide up into fractions or decimals, we're going to set the decimal places to 0. And to make it a little easier for us to read, we're going to set 1,000 separator and use a comma. Okay? So now when we hit OK, you'll see that that number is a little bit easier to read. So we can do that for all of these items, right? Oh, it's 8 o'clock. And so if we just select these, because this is different, this is money. And then if we remember how to select non-adjacent cells, we do that with the Command key. So we've selected all of those. Now if we go back and do a Command 1 and go back to our number, it's the same thing, no decimal points, and we're going to use 1,000 separator. Okay, and so that makes those easier to read. Now what about these guys? These are the median sales price for homes in Southwest Florida. And since that's a dollar figure, it's slightly different. So again, if we select those cells and do a Command 1, we can go in here and select currency, right? And since we're dealing in pretty big numbers that don't have decimals, we can probably pull that decimal places selector down to 0 and that should work just fine. Okay, so that's really about it. In a different tutorial, we'll get into formatting percentages, but we'll do that when we talk about working on percent change formulas. All right, so I'm pretty sure that's it for this tutorial. So thanks for walking. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.